Sometimes I post them just to see if people respond. Like the other night I tweeted, I said, I don't work out, but I masturbate a lot. Does that count? Oh yeah, I got a lot of followers for that one. But I only post stuff like that to get followers. But it's also
so you
true.
don't masturbate a lot?
Is that a lot? It's fun.
How many times a day?
2 to 3.
You masturbate 2 to 3
I
times
have
a day?
Really high sex drive. Like that's also another problem when I'm in relationships. Like we're around, like if I like we start dating, okay, it's gonna be like I'm like the perfect girlfriend because it's like you're driving down the road. It's like just gonna put my head down right here and just like take care of you while you're driving. Or
But that gets you off?
yes.
Oh, wow.
My God. See, this is why I'm a fantasy. I don't like, I just don't get it. Like, I love to suck dick. Like, I sound like a whore, but it's so much. When you hear a man moan, it's just like, I got him. I won.
Wow. That is definitely a plus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with like Mr. Complicated. Mr. Complicated would give as well, just as much as I did. So it was kind of like,
We'll just get out of the car and switch spots?
yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun.
Well, that's
He was just very complicated.
right.
All of my exes have
Or
names.
maybe you're very complicated. Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us and hope you'll continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. And if so, please hit that subscribe button. You can watch and listen to our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all the other platforms. Today, we have a very special guest here. Mo, welcome.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
How's your day?
Really good. I laid in bed all day until I got ready.
Did you?
Yeah, just for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're pretty new in California or in LA.
Yeah, I just moved here, was it 6 months ago? October. Beginning of October.
How's that going?
Really good.
Yeah.
Like almost like unbelievable how well it's gone. And just like for me and my career and just everything, it just kind of blew up. So it's kind of crazy.
So the past 6 months has been really the highlight of your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. Well, good for you.
Thanks.
Why don't we talk about what you do a little bit?
So I am an OnlyFans girl, I guess you could say. I hate saying that, but I don't know how else to describe it.
OnlyFans model.
Yeah, but I don't just do OnlyFans too. I do other stuff.
Well, you are an influencer in a way.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just mostly known for my OnlyFans and my sometimes raunchy content.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it's like how I made my start. So that's kind of what I identify as, but I'm trying to get away from that.
So when you moved to LA, were you already doing that back where you lived, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was, as far as I know, like one of the only girls like in the Carolinas area that really had an OnlyFans. And I had mine way before COVID started. And in the Bible Belt, nobody does like lingerie modeling and boudoir and nudes. So when I started doing it, it kind of went nuts. Like everyone had an opinion. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was subscribing to my OnlyFans. Like all these people were like, I want to see her naked.
Like where you lived.
Yeah. Oh. And so I kind of blew up pretty quickly just kind of from that. And everyone's like, ooh. And then I kind of plateaued over there because there's not much going on.
Sure.
And
there are only so many photographers you could work with.
Right. And I wasn't doing like fashion or cheesy little boutique stuff, which, no hate. That's just not my vibe at all. And so I was like really bored in my relationship that I was in at the time and just with the town and the people. And I was like, damn, I want to do something like really exciting. And I think I possibly like could blow up, but I don't know. And so in the middle of COVID, like August, I like called my mom. I was like, hey, you want to drive me out to LA so I don't have to drive out there by myself? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, so I found an apartment and like I talked to my older sister, and she's going to take over my lease. And I'm going to move. And literally it was like that, like super quick, super random, had no plan really. I just like randomly found a place with some girl on Facebook who is now like my wife. Like she's my person. Like I love her. I got so lucky. And literally from there, it just blew out. Like I came out here like with 40K in October, and it's April, and I'm at 208, and I'm signed with Arsenic, and like it's like, what? This is real life.
That's kind of crazy.
It is so crazy. Like I don't understand. I don't know what I did. I didn't realize my tits were that like exquisite out here. But I guess they are, or just people have discovered me. And I mean, my following has more than tripled.
Yeah.
Which in 6 months.
That's pretty crazy.
It's so crazy.
But do you know what, like, at what point did you see a massive rise in your following, or was that like gradually happening within the past 6 months?
I think it's kind of just been gradual. I'd say.
So you didn't wake up one day and be like, oh shit, there's like 50,000 new followers.
I want to say the biggest one was probably when I shot with Mason. Mason, the photographer, he actually just moved away, but he was my first shoot in LA, and we shot, and he's a little slow on edits. So it took a while to get his pictures, sure. But as soon as he posted me, a lot of photographers started reaching out, and I started connecting with more people and more models and getting invited to things like pretty quickly. But then also at the same time, I've had more photographers in Los Angeles tell me they absolutely would never shoot me than like before. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm blowing up, but I've also had a lot of people just like laugh in my face at the same time. So it's kind of weird.
In the beginning or still?
Oh, I mean, not as much anymore now that I'm with Arsenic. Right. I have a little bit of like
clout.
A little bit with that. A lot of people really want to know how I got it.
Right.
Like me of all people. But now that I have Arsenic, it's kind of like a security blanket. Like no one really talks shit because everyone wants to kind of get in, which I didn't realize was going to happen.
Sure.
But it's been kind of nice. So...
Interesting.
I feel a little bit more comfortable and safe now.
So I'm not familiar with the process for OnlyFans. Are you able to see who your fans are? Like, does it show your info? Okay, so back home in your town, could you like tell who was like subscribing?
Yeah. So back in the day with OnlyFans, it was a little easier to know who everyone was. Now you can kind of like pick your own name and your own username. But so it's a little bit harder, but also I'm just, I know which kind of people, and because my hometown's not that big.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, like, would you like run into these people and they look at you like all weird?
Yeah. Or they just think I'm someone that I'm not. And, or they think they can fuck me if they see me just because I have an OnlyFans. And I'm like, no. But I know who a lot of them are. They don't think I do, or like they'll tell their friends they're subscribed. And then their friends just tell me.
Yeah.
And like some people just like aren't smart. Like this one guy I like talked to like once, and we like hooked up, and it was absolutely terrible. He's like an owner of F45 back home. And so his OnlyFans username is F45. Uh-huh. And I'm like, I wonder who that is.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks for the money. Work on your dick game.
Would you tell a guy if he's bad in bed?
Yes.
Oh, wow, you would.
Oh, like, I have.
Up. You have?
Oh, yeah. I have hooked up with someone before and stopped him in the middle of sex, and I was like, you know what?
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I swear to God. Like, I was literally laying there, and in my head, I was like doing a countdown. I was like, he's got to get better after like 10 seconds, like of whatever the hell that was. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm just not feeling this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go home. Like, I don't know what I would.
You got up and left?
Left. Like mid-set. Like, it wasn't good. Like, what am I going to do? Just lay there and be like, oh, yeah. No.
Okay. What was the problem?
First of all, his dick was so small and like skinny. God. Like I couldn't feel, I had to like look and check to make sure it was going in. I was like, I couldn't feel it. It was like a little tiny like white boy pencil dick. And I was like, what is this? Like, I was like, what the hell? And then, first of all, there was like absolutely no foreplay. It was like he was a 12-year-old.
Right.
And just like tried to stick it in. And I was like, this is not how this works. How
old was he?
20 something. Like probably like 22, 21,
okay.
22.
Okay. Early 20s.
Or at least I hope he was 21.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Did he hit you up afterwards? Like what?
Yeah, he
what did he say?
But he did it on Snapchat, so it wasn't like texting. He was like, "Hey," or like a couple nights later, he was like, "Hey, like, what are you doing tonight?" And I just responded, "Not you." And then I'm pretty sure he blocked me.
He hit you up to want to hang out with you after that?
Yeah. I think he thought like I don't know what he thought. I thought it was pretty obvious that like I was like, And then like I was like getting changed really quickly and he was like trying to talk to me. I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go." And he like I don't know. I think
that's crazy.
Men are just so dumb sometimes. No offense, but
I take no offense to anything.
Like
really.
some of the guys that try to slide in or my Bumble and Hinge messages, I'm like, do you really think that's gonna work? Like,
but on Bumble, you hit them up, or like you're the one who.
Very minimal effort though. I put no effort into my messages. Like, no, don't think so.
So even even on Bumble, you expect the guy to put in the work after you.
Oh yeah.
Swipe.
Do you know what my pickup line is on Bumble?
Hey.
It's the wave emoji. And I just copy it and then I like. So what I do is I swipe and I hit X. I don't actually message them, and then I go to the top.
I don't know what X does.
Oh, like instead of messaging them, I let it sit at the top with the matches.
Okay.
And then I wait until I'm like satisfied with the amount of people I've matched with, and then I just go through and I click. And it automatically pulls it up and I copy and paste. It's so much faster.
Okay.
But I'm like the worst person to match with because I'll do that. And unless you like say something interesting, like I'll just open it. I don't care how hot you are.
Wow.
The
reason why you swipe on him is if you're attracted. Like that's purely why
and
you
some
swipe.
of the things that's in their bio. Like if you want something casual, no, sorry, not interested. At least pretend like you're not a fuckboy.
Right.
Like, let's have a little fun game out of it.
Uh-huh.
Just don't tell me because that just ruins the fun.
So you want a nice guy, but then you also want the nice guy to have game but not be a fuckboy. Sort of a unicorn that doesn't exist, no?
Well, first of all, I'm not looking for a man.
I'm just saying, like,
in
that
my
would be
Rihanna
ideal.
voice. I want one.
Sure.
I just don't need one. So
well, I've heard you say a few times.
I do want a relationship. I want someone who's loyal. I think more than anything else. Like, I want a guy that only wants to bang the shit out of me. Not me and every single one of my friends. So, like, yes, nice, but also, like, you can keep up with me in my humor and my sass and just not boring. I feel like it's really not that hard.
What makes a guy boring?
The lack of. I don't like to chase, but I like to chase a little bit. If I know you're really into me, it's like.
Isn't that contradictory to what you just said?
See, this is why I have trouble dating, because I just like. I don't know. I want a little fun, but not enough to like make me like worried and like have issues.
Oh man, this is why girls date so many assholes and then complain about dating assholes
because they're exciting,
and that's why they're assholes.
Like I know it's so I know I'm contradicting myself, but that's just how I am. When I find him, I'll bring him on the podcast and I'll explain.
Hey, there are very few of us who could satisfy a woman's need to be feeling the chase and also be nice and not an asshole and understanding and communicate and still not be too clingy. And it's like,
the problem is not them, it's me, because I am
not just you, all the girls.
Well, no,
majority of the girls.
So
anyway.
I am not a normal girlfriend. I'm so chill that it causes a lot of issues. Like, if
Explain.
you want to go to Vegas with your boys for 3 days, go. Bye. I don't want to see you every day. I would like to communicate with you every day, but if it's like just a quick little FaceTime or just like, hey babe, I'm really busy. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm busy too. Like, I get it, but I don't want to see you every day. Like, I like my alone time. Like, my dog and I like to cuddle. Like, I don't need to like see you every day. Like, I want to go out with my friends by myself. I don't need you there. If you want to go hang out with your friends and they're girls, like, if I'm your girl and you make it known that I'm your girl, go. Like, I am not going to get mad. I really could care less because you're mine. That's all that matters. You're coming home to me, or I know that, like, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so chill.
That is interesting.
Right? And everyone's like, you're just like a fantasy. And I'm like, I know.
You're saying it as if it's a good thing.
It is. I'm not crazy. If anything, I don't care enough. That's the problem.
I think you're very specific.
Yeah.
And I think your specific nature needs a very specific person to satisfy those specific needs.
Yeah, because I get bored really easily.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra.
Right. Oh, right. Wow. When's your birthday?
September 24th.
Okay. Did we talk about, I don't know. I can't remember if, no, yeah, we never talked about it, I guess.
Talked about what?
When your birthday was.
No, we didn't talk about it.
I never asked you. Interesting. Wow. Fascinating. So currently, okay, so.
I will say this about all of my relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They always come back. That's how cool of a girlfriend I am.
How many relationships have you had?
Not answering that question. You also have to define relationship.
Anything past 3 months, anything between 3 months to 6 months past that, like more than 3 months or 6 months, and any relationship after you were 18, nothing under 18, they don't count. Unless they were very long term.
I don't want to expose myself, so I'm going to stay quiet on that one.
Sure.
But I also don't want people hitting me up being like, I thought I was the only one.
Do you think you found do you think you ever fell in love with any of your relationships?
Oh yeah. There's one, Mr. Complicated. Holy shit.
Oh, right.
I am still wrapped around his finger and we're not even together. Like, it's so bad. He could call me in the middle of this podcast and be like, I fucked up. You're the love of my life. Let's get married. And I would get on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that, like, we would never work. But it's just that tongue. Can't say no. It's going to haunt me forever.
Do you think that... I mean, I do think that you think that you're actually in love.
No, we had like two very intense. We went through a lot of things together. I fell completely in. I am still so in love with him. Like, well, not still. I love him as a person, but I don't. I know we can't be together. He hates my career.
Okay.
But I yes, I.
But
I fell in love
But how
with him.
is that? How do you? But don't you think that there is? If you're not willing to do something for someone who you claim to be so in love with.
I think I was in love with him. I don't know if he was in love with me. I literally had told him multiple times, you tell me, like, you give me the go, and I will delete everything. I will give up my entire life.
Oh, wow, you would?
Oh, yeah. Not anymore. I make too much money now. But, like, and I'm really happy with where I'm going with everything I have planned and everything that's coming up. But before I moved to LA, we had that conversation. I was like, literally, I was like almost begging him to give me a reason to stay. And he was like, I can't do that because I know you're going to kill it. He's like, like at every time I would go home, I would see him. I would go home just to see him. Like in the beginning, I was like going home like once every 3 weeks when I first moved out here. Maybe even shorter time than that.
Would you date somebody who does the same thing as you? So social media, maybe OnlyFans.
I don't know if I would date a guy OnlyFans
Oh, God.
creator. I don't know if that's in the books. Just because I think one of us in doing it in the relationship and stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna say never. But I would definitely date.
What's wrong with a guy who does OnlyFans?
There's nothing wrong.
What's wrong with it for you?
There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just a lot of people having to be in, like, the biggest issue with me in my OnlyFans is just like the mental health aspect of it and everything I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I am with someone that's dealing with it, I don't know if that would be really good for us.
What do you deal with?
Just, oh my gosh, like everything people say to me about like my body, or
Like people criticize you on on
like
OnlyFans?
Yes, like so I have lots and lots and lots of men and women who love my
Sure.
kitty cat and my tatas.
Uh-huh.
There are also a lot of people that think they're entitled to critique everything about my body.
Is that right?
Yes.
Huh.
They're like, I had one guy one time, he paid for a pic of like my coochie or whatever, and like tried to tell me he should get a refund because it wasn't pretty enough.
No way.
Oh yeah. And I literally was like, who the fuck are you talking to? I was like, thank you for your money, but you can fuck off now. I don't need your X amount of dollars every month. I can do just fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know.
Does that bother you then?
Not anymore. It used to, though.
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing now is people that I worry about people just like taking screenshots and sending it to their friends, mostly because they're not paying for it. Like, that is my biggest thing. Like, just fucking subscribe and pay for it.
I mean, how many people are those though?
My hometown, quite a few. Quite a few. Like, my biggest issue is, like, if you are going to see my naked body, you're going to pay me for it. I'm on a money grind right now. I want to make as much money as possible. Like,
Right.
I'm kind of being a bitch about it, but I'm like, no, you better pay me for that.
Interesting. But I mean, that obviously doesn't mentally really affect you that much.
No, it used to be a lot of just, like, people criticizing my body. Or, like, telling
How
me
did
I
you
was
get
like,
over it,
getting
though?
fat. I learned and reminded myself that I'm a bad bitch. But also, I think people were starting to get really pushy that I wasn't doing certain types of content that I wasn't comfortable with. And then I kind of just had to realize, like, this is a luxury for me to have an OnlyFans,
Right.
not a right.
When you say people, you mean random people or like people in the industry that you work with?
Subscribers.
Okay.
People
Who the fuck cares about their opinion?
I do.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, sometimes. I mean, they got me to move out here. I mean, you have to think of it almost as like you're a celebrity in that world and these are your fans and you want to make them happy. Like, if you're a songwriter, you want to create music that your fans are going to like. It's the same thing with OnlyFans.
Yeah, but I'm never going to make music that is based upon what they like. I'm going to make music that I like because it's my art. It's not theirs.
Well, OnlyFans, in the beginning, when you're not making, I mean, you're making good money, but you're trying to get to those huge goals. Like, you want to do whatever you can to get there. And I started down that slope and I was like, no. And I was listening to what all of them were saying. And it was kind of just like, oh, I've just got to be hotter. And they said that this girl does this. And it just kind of was like trial and error and like learning and just like getting really strong and being comfortable with my body. Because when I first started, I was so insecure.
I feel like there's a lot of that going on in that industry as well.
Oh, yeah, because everyone thinks they can tell me what my body is supposed to look like. Like photographers, agencies, everyone thinks that they're supposed to tell me how I'm supposed to look, what I'm supposed to weigh. And I'm like, no. I mean, there's, healthy and unhealthy.
Right.
But I feel like I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah.
No.
No, you are. No, you are for sure.
Like, yeah.
No, I was just for a second. I was like thinking to myself that I feel so sad for the girls that you probably would meet who don't have the same attitude as you and are very insecure about their body.
I've talked to a lot of
you know
girls
what I mean?
about it because now I am in a place where I try not to listen to it and I also don't care. I mean, I care, but not as much as I used to. And I feel like it just takes time.
Yeah.
And you have to build up that thick skin. Because there's a lot of people when you first start out, you don't know who to trust. You don't know how to get started. You don't know who to work with. And so you kind of just cling to the one person you think you're supposed to. And that happened to me back home. I started off with this one photographer guy, and he was working with another girl who he was like in a relationship with. And I was like, oh, well, they're dating, so it must be safe. Absolutely not. He was absolutely crazy and super gross and weird. And it took me forever to pick up on it. And then I almost had to like retrain my brain, because he was always like, oh, you should cut down this, and you shouldn't eat that, and you should only wear this stuff because that'll actually make you look good. And then now I'm like, I will wear whatever I want to wear. Like that lingerie set's hot. Okay, I'm going to go buy it, take a bunch of concept pics in it, and sell it. And people are going to love it. And like, I didn't used to think that way at all. It's crazy.
You ever talk to the girls that you meet that you think you feel like are in the same place you used to be in?
Not out here. Everyone here puts on a really good front.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can pick up on it just because I've been there. But there are so many girls that are super insecure out here, but they're never going to ask for advice. I feel like LA girls never want to look weak.
Yeah.
And they want to look like there's something they're not half the time. And I feel like that's why a lot of people connect with me and like me, is I'm very vulnerable and open, and I don't care. I'm not going to put on like a plastic fake front.
Sure.
Like I'm just like a real person.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely hard to come by, especially because the industry starts to...
I feel like everyone feels like they have to look perfect,
right,
and be perfect and have this perfect life. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm totally okay with saying that, because it's the truth. Like I always just want to be myself. And I feel like the girls out here don't. And so that's why it's getting worse. They don't want anyone to know that they're dealing with stuff, or that certain things bother them, or they're insecure about certain things. And like, it's kind of a problem. Like you should talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest issues that a lot of people in the entertainment industry go through.
Nobody talks about anything. And I do. I am such an open book. I will talk about anything. I do not care. What are you going to do? Cancel me?
Right.
Like, I'm not big enough for that. So we'll try again.
I feel like OnlyFans is sort of a
I think we're already
uncancelable.
Well, I also think we're already like partially
industry.
canceled because we have an OnlyFans. But it's fine because I've got money in my bank account, so I'm happy.
Right. I mean, ultimately for you, that's all that matters. So.
It is.
Yeah. That's good for you.
I mean, it's not like the only thing that matters to me. It's just me and my mom like grew up with nothing. So to be able to have money now and like be successful and be able to give that back to her, like I feel like I'm just like really proud of that.
That's nice of you. Not a lot of Americans have that sort of
Well, I'm Southern,
culture.
so
Right. Well, still.
very family.
I meet a lot of Americans who just the culture of like being Persian and like having, you know, the whole family thing is just so big in the Persian culture. I feel like in the American ones is like,
Not
18, you're out.
It used to be.
Huh.
I feel like now there's no like family dinners, and
Right.
you're going over to your grandparents' house once a week. And I feel like the whole American ideals have just changed.
yeah.
Everyone's go, go, go. Everything's social media this, and the kids are just trying to hang out with their friends, and all these like 13-year-olds want to get famous. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, that's the thing. That's what, I mean, people follow other people on social media and somebody becomes famous. And then these couples who have like relationships on social media, everybody else wants the same thing. Everybody else follows them.
I know. That's why everything for my personal life, I've just taken off of social media. Like if I get into a relationship with someone, it's going to be a long time before I post your ass. Because if we break up, I never want to have one of those cringy, we broke up YouTube videos. Because like, honestly, who cares? I don't care. Like if they're hot, like, yeah, thank you for letting me know. Like I'm going to slide in his DMs. Just kidding. I mean, like maybe. Depending on who it is.
A lot of, well, I feel like the influencers mostly do it because it's additional. Well, some of them, I think mostly they do it because it's additional revenue.
I think they do it for cross promotion.
Sure.
Like, I've got over 200K, and if I am dating another influencer or whatever, and they have a following of 200K, and he posts me all the time, and I post him, we're now reaching over 400K to grow our following and people to see it. But I also think it's kind of dumb because then you're not marketing to anyone new, you know?
Well, yes, unless you become
like a Kim Ye, and you're like really, really big. That's when it's like cool.
Yeah. But then what's the name of the TikTok couples that broke up recently?
The TikTok drama?
Yeah.
What is it? Talk about
that? Who is it?
Okay, so it was Josh and Nessa, and Mads and Jaden. I don't know why. I'm not really into the TikTok drama, but I was really invested in this one. I stayed up last night.
Why were you invested in it?
I think it's just because it was so fucked up.
What happened?
So you have Josh and Nessa and Jaden and Mads. And Jaden and Nessa had this song that just came out. And they're all best friends. Well, then apparently after the song came out, they both cheated on the other person that they were with. And the girl of the guy who was in the song, granted, it was very immature. She posted a TikTok with the Taylor Swift song, it's the Sabotage and whatever. It was very, very childish, but it was really ooh, there's some shit here. And you didn't really hear anything about it for a week, but it was all over my For You page. And then she went on Call Her Daddy, and they did a podcast episode and they were talking about it. And I didn't realize that she is only 18 with 11 million followers.
Crazy.
And she's been doing this since 6th grade. And I feel like just if I was doing social media that long, that young, it would kind of fuck with your head. And I just feel like all of those kids that are really famous, really young, just aren't there all the way because they're so focused on trying to be famous and get more famous, and they're not really growing up. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but I feel they're growing up in a different way. It's
they're growing
Bieber.
Up in a different way. And so I just feel so bad that it happens on this scale. That girl's gonna be fucked up trying to find another boyfriend. Her trust issues. If he could cheat on her in front of their millions of followers that they both have, right? What's gonna stop the next guy from doing the same thing? It's so sad. I hate when anyone cheats on anyone. And then the fact that they were all best friends, right? And they did it to each other at 18.
That's what's crazy.
That's what I'm just
the stuff in social media, because people are still people,
right?
And their actions and their mistakes are still the same thing. Everyone has
an opinion. I have an opinion on it right now, and everyone on TikTok has an opinion on it. I'm just more damn. That's really just my opinion. I'm these poor kids, all of them, because all of them are going through a different wave of emotions right now.
Well, yeah, and then that's what happens is
and
when
then the
you
whole
are
world has an opinion on it.
Yeah, and that creates this amplification of your pain becoming so much more than what it normally would be if you were, just a normal person.
And these kids that are commenting oh, you deserve it, you're a bitch. It's you don't even know her. Right. You just follow her on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone deserved any of it. I mean, I like a good scandal, but this one was kind of whoa.
That's crazy.
Mostly because they're so young.
Yeah,
I also couldn't. I'm just one of those people. I couldn't imagine, hooking up with my best friend's boyfriend. Behind her back. Did you not?
Kids though.
But I've never been that way. Maybe I just grew up with morals.
Sure.
Shout out to my mom.
Yeah, I mean, just look at it this way: the guy and the girl just didn't care. Didn't care. They were, and that's the thing. As I feel as we get older, the more we encounter a certain type of people, the more we start to develop an understanding of, oh, okay, this is what this means, and that's why it's a red flag. Or meeting somebody who's like this will lead to this.
I'm slowly learning that at 23.
You're still very young.
I know. I feel like I'm like 40 half the time though.
I feel like you want to be 40
in
like maturity.
No.
No, not like look wise, but like mature wise, you want to be older and like more wise. Like that's how you come off, you know?
Are you insulting me right now?
No. I'm saying that's like that's what you desire, which is a good thing because a lot of people.
I want to be wise.
Yeah, because some people just don't. Like they want to act their age and like
act like a 23-year-old.
Right. Well, some girls want to act like an 18-year-old. They're 25.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So yeah.
No.
So yes, it's a good thing that you want. Are you insulting me?
Your tone. Sometimes I'm like, is he trying to like
come at me?
Are you coming at me right now? Yeah. No, I don't. I just don't want to be.
Do people come at you a lot? I feel like you get defensive very easily.
A lot of people do come at me a lot, but they also like to make fun of me. Out here, I think because I'm so not LA, people just like kind of poke at me. Because they know when I get mad, my Southern really comes out and like my accent does. I feel like people try to poke at me just like.
Ooh, maybe I should try to poke at you real
please,
quick.
Coming at you. I like have gotten really good at like hiding my accent. I feel like people can't hear it that much anymore.
I definitely can't.
Okay, so then it's working.
Yeah.
I've been training myself. I still say y'all. And
that's normal though.
And
even people in LA say y'all.
And like when I'm with my mom on FaceTime, oh my God, it's so bad. Like my roommate was like, look, and she's like, where did that come from? And I'm like, oh, oops, it came out again. But I've gotten really good at like hiding it, I think.
That's funny. Well, that's is a talent that only a few can acquire.
Well, I also kind of have to get rid of my accent if I'm going to pursue into other things with modeling.
Or trying to get into acting.
I don't want to be in a movie. That's a lot of lines to memorize. And I just...
What would you be in that requires no lines? Mime?
Maybe just like commercials.
Okay.
And like advertisements, like little clips and stuff.
That's doable.
Yeah, like that. That's a smaller scale.
Sure.
I also don't...
I could hold a sign up for you.
Exactly. I also don't really want to be famous. And if I start
doing... A
little
too late for that, no?
I'm not famous. I only have 200K.
You know, a lot of people who consider 200K pretty...
Yeah, guys on Bumble are like, oh, you're a celebrity. I'm like, not even close. I mean...
People from my back home, they're like, oh, you're pretty famous. I've got like 40,000 followers. It's like nothing here.
Yeah.
It's like chump change.
Well, you got to think, in my industry, 200K is like pennies. Like, it's nothing. If I get, over 1 million, that's when people are like, oh, she's somebody. But like right now, like, do you know how many girls have 200K right now that I don't even know about and that don't know who I am? There's a lot of us. When you go up a little bit more.
In the industry is very, you're looked at as like, oh, I'm still not there yet.
Yeah. When I hit probably like 500, it's probably when I'll be like, ooh, I've kind of made it.
How's your engagement? Good?
Right now? Awful. Used to be
Really?
great. I'm so shadow banned right now.
Is that? Yeah, I've been hearing that from like multiple people.
I shot with Inked the Shooter in Houston and fire pics. And he was able to post it on his page, but every time I try to post it on mine, it gets taken down. And I tried like 3 different times to post it different ways, and Instagram got really mad at me. And I haven't been able to get out of it since. But they were so fire.
Crazy.
Like, I'm really pissed. Like, my OnlyFans people got them. But I'm like, oh, that's on his page. Like, I want to post it too.
It's surprising to me how many people are getting shadow banned on Instagram, but people are not getting off the platform. And I feel like that's what Instagram needs, because they're like, they need a spanking. Like, people need to get off the platform so they stop.
Yeah, right now, it's still, TikTok isn't quite there yet with branding, I think. But also, like, I can't be on TikTok. I tried to post something on TikTok that I posted on Instagram today. Wasn't even up for a minute, and it got taken down.
No way.
Yes, and there was no nudity, nothing, and they were so mad. They like took it down. They're like, this goes against community guidelines. I was like, I'm covered. Like, what the hell?
What community is this?
Yeah, like, this isn't even sexual. Like, what? Oh yeah, TikTok's awful. But like, say I want to work with Red Bull, they're gonna go look at my Instagram. First thing they're gonna do.
Yeah.
They're not going to go look at my TikTok.
Sure.
They're not going to look at my Twitter. They're going to look at my Instagram. There needs to be something else that's like Instagram. And I just,
without rules.
or just be nicer
Without
about it. I used to be able to
guidelines.
post like my whole like fully nude and like you could see through and see everything.
Yeah, they just should make it like Twitter. How like it sort of
Maybe not Twitter.
like
You can watch like full pornos on Twitter.
But that's what but it gives you a warning though. Like if content is like has nudity or whatever, it says
yeah, I love
sensitive
Twitter.
content.
Twitter is wild.
Yeah, it says click yes if you're like, you know, consenting to seeing this or whatever, and then also if you're under 18, it doesn't show it to you. You know?
I also think Twitter is the easiest place to grow your following.
Yeah.
I feel like more girls should use it. And
I mean, for you, you're like very out there, so you know your opinion is like sort of something
I mean,
you
I don't
can put
like
on there. It's
post.
interesting.
I don't post like anything uncensored on Twitter. I just think it's super easy to grow your following, and it's a really good platform.
Yeah, but do you like talk or like do you have so you don't do just post?
Oh yeah. Oh, I like will tweet some crazy things.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're like
but sometimes I post them just to see if people respond. Like the other night I tweeted, I said, I don't work out, but I masturbate a lot. Does that count? Oh yeah, I got a lot of followers for that one. But I only post stuff like that to get followers. But it's also
so you
true.
Don't masturbate a lot?
Do
Is that
masturbate a lot. It's fun.
How many times a day?
2 to 3.
You masturbate 2 to 3
I
times
have
a day?
Really high sex drive. Like that's also another problem when I'm in relationships. Like we're around, like if I like we start dating, okay, it's gonna be like I'm like the perfect girlfriend because it's like you're driving down the road. It's like just gonna put my head down right here and just like take care of you while you're driving. Or
But that gets you off?
yes.
Oh, wow.
My God. See, this is why I'm a fantasy. I don't like I just don't get it. Like I love to suck dick. Like I sound like a whore, but it's so much when you hear a man moan, it's just like, I got him. I won.
Wow, that is definitely a plus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with like Mr. Complicated. Mr. Complicated would give as well, just as much as I did. So it was kind of like
We'll just get out of the car and the switch spots.
yeah, I mean we had a lot of fun.
Well, that's
He was just very complicated.
right.
All of my exes have
Or maybe
names.
you're very complicated.
I'm too simple. Because I turn into a simp. Like I am wifey material. Whatever you want. If you are tired and you want me to go to the grocery store and get the specific beef jerky from the specific place at like 2:00 in the morning, I'll do it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, baby. Like I'm a simp.
Interesting.
I'm super easygoing.
You and I are very similar in that area.
Yeah, I'm like literally I'm always like the perfect girlfriend.
I hate calling it a simp because that's not what that is. Because once you are in a... Because I feel like the concept of being a simp is sort of...
I just take care of my man.
Yeah, like the person
I really do.
you are with, you care about. And
yeah,
I think
and
that's...
spoil my man too.
Sure. That's nice of you.
I know.
So then what happens in these relationships? Are the guys the ones breaking up with you?
Most of the time I get cheated on because like sometimes I just get busy or they think they can find something better, right? And then they always crawl back so fast and they're like, I fucked up. Like love letters, long ass text messages. They're blowing up my phone. They're like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like I've had exes from like years ago be like, dude, you are still the best blowjob I've like ever had.
Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
I know. I'm well aware. Like my sisters taught me well because I went to them and I was like,
your sisters taught you
like,
well.
how do I make sure that guys fall in love with me? And they're like, go get a cucumber. We're gonna teach you how to suck dick.
No
so
way.
good. Yeah. My mom also told me when I like was really young in my sex talk, I was like, how like do I impress a guy? And she's like, learn how to love to suck dick. And so that's what I tell girls.
What is happening
They're
in
like,
your family?
They're like, how do I make my boyfriend like be obsessed with me? And I'm like, just suck his dick and do it good.
I don't even know what to say.
But so like, and then
You're being serious.
I'm being dead ass serious. That's like my thing. I love to suck dick. It gets me off. that they're so like satisfied.
Okay, so you go to your sisters and you're like,
Super
hey,
young.
how do I suck dick? Or you said, how do I satisfy a man?
I was like, how do I be the best?
Like,
and what is gonna make me the
go
best?
get a cucumber.
Go get a cucumber.
And you went and you got a cucumber.
I think you need a banana. But
And they showed you how to suck dick on a banana.
I learned a bunch of tricks, and I watched a lot of porn, like really young.
What are those tricks?
I'm not telling you. I'm not giving
know
away
what
all
those
my
tricks
secrets.
are.
There's a reason why I'm like, everyone's like, damn, what was that? So I learned a lot of tricks from Pornhub.com. Brandy Love, she follows me on Instagram.
No way.
Oh yeah, I grew up watching her stuff as a kid.
Oh my God, as a kid.
Yeah. I felt really honored when she followed me on Instagram. I was like, wow. No, I just watched a lot of blowjob videos. I was like, what are these porn stars doing? And now I know the porn industry, just like talking to people and like learning that most of it's fake. I thought it was all real when I was younger, and I didn't realize that they're just.
Well, what do you mean fake? I mean, it is.
I mean, it's real, but like they don't actually like each other. They're just paid
Oh,
to be
yeah,
there.
sure. They're
like when I was like in middle school, I was like, wow, this girl has a lot of boyfriends. Like it just didn't make sense in my head.
It was a lot more romanticized than it actually is. Yeah.
And so I watched a lot of porn and I learned a lot of tricks. I will say that Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy, her Gluck Gluck 9000 does not work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's, if anyone watches Call Her Daddy, they'll know. It's like a trick she tried to teach everyone. She's like, it works every time. I've done it a lot and it doesn't.
What is the trick?
It's like you take like two hands and you go like this, but then you also like suck at the same time.
Yes.
Doesn't, and they're like, it's supposed to be like instant cum. No, there are other things to do. I have a few tricks that work every single time. Like if I'm tired, like if we're going and you're just not coming, I have like 3 different. I'll do like 1. If it doesn't work, I go to 2. And if it doesn't work, then I do 3. And I've never had 3 not work.
Well, I'll say that does work for me, but I mean, instant. I don't know about instant. Nothing is really instant for me, but that pretty much does work. So I don't know who these guys are. You've been doing the what did you call it?
The Gluck Gluck, the Gluck Gluck 9000. Pretty sure that's what it's called. It doesn't work for me.
Interesting. Maybe you're doing it wrong.
Maybe. I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't think. I also just have other stuff I know works way better and way faster.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah. I just,
interesting. You're
I'm a
a
pro.
fascinating human being.
I know, right? I should have my own podcast. Or we could host this together and just talk about sex all the time.
I don't want to talk about sex all the time.
Why not?
Because it's not about sex.
No.
But we could talk about some interesting stuff, I think.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Well, now we're almost done, but...
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
The time goes by really, really, really fast on this podcast.
I know, especially when I'm here.
Quick. It's been
We
like
could
5
talk about a
minutes
lot
in
of stuff if we hosted this podcast together.
I totally agree.
And we could debate a lot of topics. I think that would get it really interesting.
What would you want to debate?
I don't know, but I feel like you'd be fun to argue with.
What was it you mentioned the other last night? You said, you said your mom subscribes to your.
She does.
To your OnlyFans.
So, fun story, I guess. When I first started, she says now that she's always been super supportive. I have text messages to say differently. It wasn't that she wasn't supportive when I first started. She just wasn't thrilled. If that makes sense.
Sure.
But then I don't think it was until someone talked shit about what I was doing to her face that she was like, oh no, you didn't. That is my daughter and I love exactly what she's doing and blah, blah, blah. And she got like in like defensive mom mode. And now she's like a full on like believer and like loves everything. Cause she's like, I made you. So of course I don't mind if you're naked. Like we have the same tits.
That is hilarious.
Oh yeah. And she's like really funny. Like back home, I got out of a speeding ticket because the police officer subscribed to my OnlyFans.
No way.
Oh yeah. I have a small town. He was like, oh my God, are you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I subscribe to your OnlyFans. You're free to go.
Are you fucking serious?
Fucking serious. Oh, yeah. What was really crazy, and this is really random, is I had just moved to LA. And my roommate and I went to the Target in Manhattan Beach, I think. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck about Target. She's like she's one of those. And some guy came up to me and was like, oh my God, I subscribe to your OnlyFans. Like, I didn't know you moved to LA. And I thought my roommate, like, she thought I was this like huge person. And I was like, no, this would happen back home. I never expected it to happen here. But it's happened a few times. It's really weird. I went and got my car serviced. And the guy at the dealership, one of the guys at the dealership recognized me.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't realize I had so many fans in LA. They're mostly back home, though. A lot of people stare at me back home. It's really weird.
In like a bad way?
A lot of the younger kids, like the girls, like the college girls. Like if I walk by and I'm going out downtown, I get a lot of like looks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or like people I used to know or work with that I like didn't really get along with. They're very judgy. Which I think is so funny because I'm like, you guys are the bitches that said I would never be successful or go anywhere. And last time I checked, I'm doing just fine. Thanks, though.
What was your mom saying when you started it? Like she
didn't think it was very smart. But
what did she say?
Like that it wasn't smart. Like, how are you going to get a job later in life?
Oh, I see.
And you have to think about what you post on social media. And now I feel like it's changed so much, even just over quarantine. Like, you can pretty much post, like, whatever you want, like, nudity-wise. And it doesn't really matter because OnlyFans is so normalized now. You can't say whatever you want, like, that kind of thing. But, like, I feel like if you want to post, like, a little sexy pic, now you can. But, like, 2 years ago, you couldn't. It was, like, so, like, bad.
Yeah, I think the culture.
You know what I mean? Like it's that side is like changed.
Culture is definitely moving in the more open-minded direction.
Yeah, and like girls posting lingerie pics is like, or at least to me, is like normal now.
Right.
I mean, my whole Instagram feed is lingerie. It's kind of annoying. Like I don't have like.
Why is it annoying?
Because I don't want to look at a bunch of titties and boobs all day long. I mean, they're all my friends, but it's still annoying.
Oh, you're talking about your feed as in like your okay, got it. I thought you were talking about your own like Instagram feed, and I was like, what? It's yours.
No,
Why?
like just like when I'm scrolling or like my Explorer page, like that's all I see now. Now, granted, that's what I like the most of and is like whatever. But even like, I went out with a guy, and his was mostly like lingerie stuff too.
How did that make you feel?
Like whatever.
Do you care? Oh, you didn't care.
No, because if it doesn't work out between me and a guy, they always subscribe to my OnlyFans.
That's funny.
Oh, I have a lot of exes who have subscribed to my OnlyFans.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand it. It's just.
I do. They know they're never gonna get to see it again, so and if they want it that bad, they're just gonna pay for it.
Okay.
Or at least that's how
I don't think
see
I'm
it.
ever going to understand men subscribing to OnlyFans. It's just like I just don't get the
way
concept.
It was described to me, because I didn't understand why people that knew me were subscribing, and there was like this random guy from high school was like, "Oh my God, I used to think you were so hot in like our geometry class or whatever." He's like, "You look amazing naked." And I was like, who is this bitch? Like, I didn't even remember who he was. You know what I mean? And I actually ended up like talking to him about it. I was like, that's interesting. He's like, is it weird? I'm like, no, just like curious or whatever. He's like, well, you know, it's just kind of cool that like we used to do homework together and now I get to like see your tits. I'm like, well, thanks for buying it. Like, appreciate it. And there's a lot of guys that are just like, wow, because they know they never had a chance. And not many have a chance now.
I guess I could understand, like, if you're unable to... If certain quality of women seems so out of reach that, like, this is the only way you get to sort of experience...
Yeah.
That, I guess, in that
I'm
of
also
sense.
just like really picky. So I have a lot of guys from Bumble that subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Picky in what way?
Oh, like it takes a lot to get my attention.
So you like it that they subscribe to your OnlyFans?
Oh, no, if you subscribe to my OnlyFans, I am not fucking you.
No, yeah, right. That's been that's like a very common thing.
But I
OnlyFans
do get a lot of
say.
subscribers from Bumble. They want to like test view it. I'm like, okay. But now that I know it's you and you told me who it is, like who you are,
Right.
No, sir, you can keep buying it though. Thank you.
Would you expect your boyfriend to subscribe to your OnlyFans?
No, I wouldn't want him to subscribe to
okay.
my OnlyFans.
Okay.
I would expect him to take the nudes that are going to go on my OnlyFans.
No, that's yeah.
I have so many hot like POV, just like stills because I don't do videos, like ideas. Because I was seeing this guy out here and he just happened to take some like fun shots. Like one night, and they were so good. I was like, "What?" He ended up being an idiot, and I had to get rid of him. But they were really, really hot.
Why was he an idiot?
Oh, just he was like really rushy and like wanting to like be exclusive, and then
Oh God.
he was like, "Never mind, like I'm still on Rhea," and I was like, "You are definitely not on Rhea. Like, you're a DJ, but you're not that cool or famous or well known to be on Rhea, and you're not that good."
Interesting.
Like, let's just start there. Like, if you were really that good, then I would have found you more attractive.
How did that doesn't what?
He was like, there was always like he's really nice.
Yeah, but just because you don't like somebody doesn't define how cool they are.
He was just an asshole, and just the way he spoke to me and treated me afterwards.
Okay, well,
so
yeah.
I have like a very bitter taste in my mouth. Like
Right.
I was very nice until the point where I just literally had to turn my read receipts on and just like put him on mute. Like I was so close to just blocking him, not out of pettiness, but just like, take a fucking hint. You're not coming back. I don't want to see you again. And he like couldn't get over the fact I'm DJ fill in the blank. Like, what do you mean you don't want me? Like, I have a blue check mark. And I'm like, that doesn't mean shit. I don't care. I was like, I have like 10 times as many more followers as you do. If you want to start doing the numbers game on who's cooler, I was like, my pics are hotter than yours. I've got better engagement than you do. I have more followers than you do. But that literally none of that matters. Like, I don't know why we're arguing about this right now. Like, congrats. You have a little blue check mark next to your name. I still make 10 times the amount like of money you do. You little broke bitch. Like, and so I deal with idiots like that, where they seem really nice and normal in the beginning, and then they like turn out to be like, ooh. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Man, we gotta.
Like one of the guys I'm talking to right now, I think has like 300 followers on Instagram, and I don't care. Like that shit doesn't matter. So don't try to throw it in my face.
Well, let's see. On the next show, we're gonna have to talk about how that one's going.
Well, right now it's
Hopefully.
which one?
It's like right now what?
It's like which one? So I don't ever save. I don't save the numbers of the guys I'm talking to. So we can call him Mr. 609. Because I know that those were his first three digits.
Mr. 609.
Because if you're not texting me often enough, then I can't remember which number is yours. Because
Okay, so you want them to text you often enough, but you don't want them to become exclusive too quickly. But then you
I feel like
want them to leave some chase. But then you want them to text you often enough so they're.
Okay, let me clarify. Exclusive too soon is like if you want to be exclusive like less than a month in.
Why is that a problem?
Because I probably have only had time to hang out with you like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay, I guess that's the problem.
Okay?
Sure.
Like
when you say a month, to me that seems like
less than a month.
Yeah,
like
but
we've hung
when
out
you say
twice
that to me though,
and like maybe fucked once, and you know,
like a month dating someone to me is
think 3
at
months.
least seeing them like 15 times or so.
Yeah, no, I don't.
3 times.
I
is
also
like
am not going to give you that much time in the beginning.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like if I feel like somebody's not giving me that much time,
but I'm also
I'm going to walk away.
I am so busy. I do not have time to see you 4 times a week in the beginning, because I don't know if I'm going to like waste time when I could be making money to see you. If you're someone who's intriguing, you seem like a really good guy, then I'll start to make more and more time for you.
I've seen you more times now, and I've known you for a week.
I know. Well,
Then you dated a guy for a month.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. 609, I've hung out with you more than I've probably talked to him
Jesus.
in the past week. But, you know.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like
It's not
a
bad.
lot of
That's
it
probably
comes...
really bad.
I think
not
it's your
good.
desire that sort of is like in the way, and it's like you're trying. I feel like you already subconsciously know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But then the chase that the other person is like putting in makes you sort of stay in the situation, because you're like, well, at least I'm getting some attention and
Okay, we can end it here. We have to get on the attention part. No, I like Mr. 609. I just need some more time with him.
Oh.
All of our time together spent right now has been with like someone else or like our pets. And both of our pets require a lot of attention.
Sure.
So it's like, it'd be nice just to like talk to him with like no distractions. Because right now we've only hung out with like each other's, like there's always like something
distracting you
distracting
from yourself.
But also I am talking to like multiple people right now.
We're gonna talk about this next time.
Yeah, I'm like, can you use all their code names? I have code names for everyone.
We'll talk. I think next time is better to sort of...
When's part 2? I'm excited. We're going to start the intro. It's like, yeah, Mr. 609's been long gone. Or it's going to be like, oh, yeah, we're dating. Or I don't even know what's going to happen for the next one. With my life, it could be anything.
Well, you've been great.
Thanks.
Was I entertaining? Fascinating.
Really?
Yeah. Just.
Do you think your people will like me?
I think they'll love you.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm hilarious. No one agrees with me.
You're very funny.
I think I'm so funny.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm not a normal girl. I will talk about whatever. I don't care. I don't care if it makes me look bad. I don't care if people think I'm dumb.
I don't think any of this made you look dumb or made you look bad.
I'm just real.
I think you're very honest.
I am very
honest. Which is great.
Way too honest. I probably shouldn't have shared half the information I shared. But it's funny. It's my
life.
life.
All depends, I suppose. But
I want my own reality show just to document like the dumb things I deal with and do on a daily basis.
Hey, we could work towards that. Yeah. Thanks for that.
I thought you would enjoy that.
Oh, man. All right. Till the next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Thanks for watching.